Welcome to day 3 JavaScript coding interview question. Previously, I have uploaded day 1 and day 2 coding questions. You can also check out that videos so that you will be having more questions with you. So in this lecture, we are going to see 25 JavaScript coding interview question which will help you to practice JavaScript even more. And for each question, I will be giving you 10 seconds to think. And if you got the answer before 10 seconds, you can paste the answer in comment section. Or if you're having any doubt, you can also ask your doubts in comment section. So let us start with our day 3 JavaScript coding interview questions. So this is our first question. You have to find what is the output of this line. Okay, let us see the solution. If you already got the answer, you can paste the answer in comment section. Now we are going to see with the solution. Now inside this I am having two type of operators and after that I am having one number. So first what happens, if we are having multiple type of operators, first this one will be evaluated and after that this one will be evaluated. So type of 20 is number. Okay, we already know 20 is number. So type of 20 is number. Now number we get in this way. This is the result we get for this and this is nothing but string. If you look, this is complete set of characters and it is nothing but string. So when we check type of number, our result will be string. I will save. You can see my result is string. Now let us see second question. You have to tell what will be the output of this array. Okay, let us see the solution. Now in this array, I am having 0, 9, 8 and 7. So these are called as elements inside the array. And our array will be starting from 0th index. 0, 1, 2, 3. Then 4, 5, 6 we are skipping. 7th index we are adding element 6. 4th, 5th and 6th index we will be having empty blank space and at 7th index we will be having 6. So let me comment this. Now you can see 0, 9, 8, 7 and 3 places we are having empty space. And at 7th index I have added my element 6. Now here you can see 0, 1, 2, 3. Index 4 is empty and we are not having anything. Now if I try to access index 4 element, save it, now I will be having undefined. Because at that index we are not having any element. So if we create a variable without assigning any value, then we get the result as undefined. So it is same like that. So we are just accessing index 4, but index 4 is not present. It is having empty space. So that is the reason we got the result as undefined. Now let us see third question. I will start my timer. Okay, let us see the solution. Now here in our previous question, at 7th index, I have given some element. I have given some value. But here at 7th index, I am assigning my complete array. So when I display my final array, let me show you what will be our final result. You can see in my original array 0, 9, 8, 7. Again 4, 5, 6 is empty. But at 7th index, we are having complete array which is having length of 8. Here also we are having length of 8. And at 7th index, we are having one complete array. If I open, you can see Again, we will be having the same array which we were having in our original array. Now let us see the fourth question. You have to find the output in each and every line. I will start the timer. Let us see the solution. Let me comment this. So first one, here I am having two not of null. Previously, we had type of 20. So first what we did, we evaluated this part. So similarly, first we are going to evaluate this part. Then we are going to evaluate this complete part. So null is nothing but it is a falsy value. So not of null, not of false will be true. So I will be having not of true. So not of true is nothing false. So first line, I should be having the result as false. You can see first line, I have the result false. Coming to second line, again we are having not of empty string. Empty string is also a falsy value. So not of false will be true and not of true will be false. Okay. Similar to this first question, here also we will have the result false. Then here we are having not of 1. So first not of 1 will be evaluated and 1 is nothing but truthy value. So not of true will be false and not of false will be true. So for first one I will have the result false, second one false and third one I will get true. I will refresh this. You can see false, false and true. Let us see fifth question. You have to find the output of this line. Let us see the solution. Now here I am having array and inside this array I have passed the spread operator and also I have passed one string. This spread operator can be applied for all the iterables. So string is an iterable. So now using spread operator inside the string, what happens? Each and every character will be separated as single character. So as soon as I refresh, now inside array, in total, I will be having 6 elements and whatever data I am having string, each and every character is separated as one element inside the array. So in total, 6 elements will be present inside the array. Let us see sixth question. Now you have to find the output. In this question, we are using to promise and we are checking promise.trace. So you should tell what will be the final result that will be displayed on console. Okay, let us see the solution. Now here I have given 300 milliseconds and here I have given 200 milliseconds. And promise.trace, by the name itself you can understand whichever promise is getting fulfilled first, that will be displayed on screen. So this promise is having lesser time than this promise. So whatever result we are getting from this promise, that result will be handled using then handler and we are just printing that response. And the response is nothing but this high. I will refresh. You can see high will be displayed because this promise will be coming first in the race. So that is the reason using promise.trace, whichever promise is fulfilled first, that result we are going to display. Let us see seventh question. You have to find the output of this code. I will start the timer. Let us see the solution. Now here for this data variable, I have assigned object. Now what I am doing, I am just copying this object to my result. But here I have just put square bracket and inside that I have passed my data object. So my final result will be array of object. This is my array and inside that I am having object. Now if I refresh, you can see I will have array of object and inside object whatever value I am having for this data, that will be displayed. Now let us see eighth question. So you should find what will be the output of for in loop. Let us see the solution. Now here we have one object and inside this object I have given two properties and for each property some value is assigned. But here we are using for in loop. So whenever we are using for in loop, the result we get is properties which are present inside the object. So first loop, my item name will be subject. Subject will be displayed. Second loop, my item name will be technology. So technology will be displayed. So my result will be subject and technology. It will not be JS and full stack. It is going to be subject and technology. So using this for in loop, whatever properties we are having inside object, that will be displayed. Let us see ninth question. You have to calculate the result and find the final value and also what will be the type of value. Okay, let us see the solution. Now here we are using arithmetic operators and we are performing addition. So whenever we are performing arithmetic operation, it will be evaluated from left to right. From left to right, it will be evaluated. So here, first this will be added 6 plus 9. I will have the result 15. Then now, here I am having number. Then I am just combining number with string. So what happens? It is not going to perform mathematical operation. Instead, behind the scene, what it will do, it will convert the data type of this number to string because we are combining this with string. So this number becomes string and final result we get as 15 0. Okay, from this we got 15, then 0 will be combined with this number. Basically, we are just concatenating string with this number. So my final data will be 150. Now by looking at this, you will tell it is a number, but when we check the type of data, then we get the result as string. Because after combining the string with number, entire result becomes string. So that is the reason we have type of data as string. Let us see 10th question. Now here you can see we have type of and after that I am having 6, 8 and 0. Let me save. I will start the timer. Okay, let us see the solution. This is similar to this one. For better understanding, let me just change it to 9 here. Now you might be thinking same way how this got evaluated. First this will be evaluated. It will give 15. Then it is going to combine with 0. So I will be having the result as 150. And type of 150 here in this case I will have string. But surprisingly the result we get is number 90. So let us see how this is evaluated. So when we are having this type of operator, this is having more priority than arithmetic operators. So it will be executed from left to right. So first this part will be evaluated. Type of 6 is number. So 6 is number. So I will be having number. Then we have plus 9 and then we are having string. So again this part and this part will be evaluated. Number is nothing but it is a string. Then we will be having number 9. Then again 0, it is a string. Then it is just going to concatenate. So finally we will be having number 90 as a result. Let us see 11th question. Now you have to find type of this. Okay, let us see the solution. Now previously we did not have parenthesis. So that is the reason this part was evaluated first. But now in this case, this entire calculation is grouped inside parenthesis. And this grouping will be having higher precedence than all. So first this part will be evaluated, and whatever final result we get from here, that we are going to check with type of operator. So here 6 plus 8, I will have 14. And if you notice here, I am having plus and here I am having another plus. So whenever we are having any number wrapped inside single quotes and double quotes, and before that number, if we add plus, it is just going to convert to number. It will no longer be string. It is just going to convert to number. So it will be treated as 0. So 6 plus 8 is 14 and 14 plus 0 is nothing but 14. And type of 14 is number. Refresh, you can see type of 14 is number. Let us see 12th question. You have to find the output of this. Okay, let us see the solution. Now, true is nothing but it is a Boolean value. And in Boolean data type, we are having two values, true and false. And whenever we are doing any arithmetic operation with these Boolean values, true will be converted to 1 and false will be converted to 0. So here I am doing subtraction. I am doing arithmetic operation. So true will be converted to 1 and this true will also be converted to 1. So I will be having not of 1, not of 1 minus 1. Now in this not operator will be having higher priority than this arithmetic operator because not operator is unary operator. So not of 1, I will have the result as 0. Let me just write 0 minus 1. So final result will be minus 1. Save it. Refresh this. Now you can see my final result is minus 1. Let us see 13th question. In this we are having set timeout which has to be executed at 0 second. Then we are having promise resolve and we are having one console. So you should tell me in what order our result will be displayed. I will start the timer. Let us see the solution. First, let us see the result. Now you see, I got bye, then I got hi, and then I got hello. But here if you see, this set timeout has to be executed after 0 second. And we already know whatever code we are having apart from asynchronous code, that will be executed first. So that is the reason console is displayed first. But here, when we compare these two results, if you look here, we are having 0 second, but Still, hello is displayed at the end, hi is displayed first. So this is because if you heard about event loop, in that we have web APIs on top, then below that we are having microtask queue, then below that we are having callback queue. So when this code is executed, set timeout will be pushed inside callback queue and promises will be pushed inside microtask queue. And microtask queue will be having higher execution priority when compared to callback queue. So when this code is executed, first this line will be executed, and when we execute these two lines, first whatever code we are having inside microtask queue, that will be executed. So high will be displayed first, and only after that this set timeout will be executed. So that is the reason we are having hello at the end. Let us see 14th question. You have to tell what will be the output of x, y and z. Let us see the solution. Now inside this function, I have declared three variables x, y and z, and I am printing x and y. So this will be simple. When I call this function, whatever values we have assigned for x and y, that will be displayed. X and y. Let me comment. So I will have 19 and 18. 19, 18. But outside of this function, I am just trying to access z. But if you notice here, z I have not declared using let, var and const. So that is the reason this becomes global variable and it can be accessed anywhere. So this variable can be accessed outside the function. So when I just try to access z, then I will be having the result as 17. So my final value will be 19, 18 and 17. Let us see 15th question. Now same code, but here I have used var keyword. Let us see the solution. Now this z I have declared using var, and var is nothing but it is having function scope, and the variables declared using var inside the function can be accessible only inside the function. So when I call this function, x and y values are already present, so 19 and 18 will be displayed. But when I try to access z outside the function, which is already declared using var, then I will be having this error. Reference error, z is not defined. So it will be like z is not defined, then why you are trying to display z? So that is the reason it gives reference error. That reference is not present in our code. Let us see 16th question. Now you have to tell what will be the output of this code. And if you notice here, this function name and this variable name is same. Okay, let us see the solution. So first, let me show you the result. Here, first I got calling data, whatever we are having inside this function, that is displayed. Second time, when I am calling this function, I got my data is not function. So first call, I got the result, but second call, I did not get the result. And this is the concept of hoisting. So step by step, let us understand how this is working. So whenever we are executing any code in JavaScript, it will be interpreted in different way in JavaScript engine. It will not be in same order. So this is the concept of hoisting. So what happens? So whatever variables and functions we are having, that will be hoisted on top. So here we are having variable and here we have function. And when it comes to variable and function, functions will be hoisted first, then we will be having variables. So this code will be interpreted in this way. First, we are having function. Let me just comment this one. Later on, I will just uncomment. First, I will be having functions. Then we will be having this variable. But for this variable, value 9 will already be there. But this is how it is going to interpret. First, function will be hoisted. Then we are having this variable. And after that, we will be having this function call. So first function call. And when we are doing this first function call, it will be referencing to this function. So that is the reason we are having this calling data. Then after that, my data is equal to 9. That will be assigned. Now here, same function name I am using as variable. And I have assigned the value as 9. Now when I call this function, what happens? 9, it will be like 9 function. 9 and I'm just using parenthesis. So that is the reason I got my data is not a function. In this way, I cannot call the function. So at this line, it is no longer a function. It is pointing to number 9. So that is the reason it has generated type error. My data is not a function. So you should remember this concept. So whenever we are having functions and variables, so these are hoisted and function declarations will be hoisted on top. Now maybe you are having a doubt. Here also I am having a variable. Here also I am having a function name with the same name. But this will not be a problem because of this line it is not having any value. Now simply if I just give 0, refresh this one, for both I will be having error. But when it is hoisted, at this line my variable is not having any value. So that is the reason this function call will be represented to this function. After that, I have assigned to 9 and when I execute this, I will be having type error. You can see for this same code also I got the same result and for this same code also I will be having the same result. So behind the scene, JavaScript engine will interpret the code in this way. Let us see 17th question. Now you have to tell what will be the output of this. Let us see the solution. Now here we are using async keyword, which is also called as asynchronous function. Inside this function, we are returning one string that is nothing but JavaScript. And whenever asynchronous function returns some values, it is going to resolve that value. So at this case, our promise is resolved with the value JavaScript. An asynchronous function will always return promise, and when it is returning some value, it will be like fulfilled or resolved promise. So asynchronous function has resolved the promise with the value JavaScript. Now here I am calling the function. I am storing the result inside this variable result. And when I am logging this, instead of getting this JavaScript, let me show you. I will be getting promise object with fulfill state and the value is JavaScript. Because it is like we are building the promise, the next step is we have to consume the promise. But here we are at the stage of building the promise. An asynchronous function will always return a promise, and if it is returning any value, then our promise is nothing but it is resolved or fulfilled. And when I am calling this function, instead of displaying this JavaScript value, it is going to give us promise object with fulfilled state. Let us see 18th question. In that, instead of displaying promise object, you have to display value JavaScript. Here I am having the same function, but here instead I have just assigned the value to this variable and I am returning result. So whenever we are using async function, we have to use await keyword. Now using await, try to access only JavaScript. Let us see the solution. Now using this function, okay, same function we had written here, but here we have just created separate variable. But whatever it is, the result what we get from this function is promise object with fulfilled value JavaScript. Now I have to access JavaScript. So whenever we are using async function, we can always use await keyword to wait for the result. So below this, I will be creating another async function, and simply I will give the function name as getResult. And inside this function, I will be writing result1 is equal to, now I am just going to await for the data to arrive. Okay, simple enough. I am just awaiting for my data to arrive. Now from here, I will simply log result. Below this, I am just going to call this getResult function. Save it, refresh this one. Now you can see successfully I am able to get the value JavaScript. So I am just awaiting for my data to come. Once I am having the data, my result will be displayed. So when we are using asynchronous function, if we want to access the data inside that function, then it is very important to hold the result using this await keyword. If I remove this await, then again I will be having the same result. Promise is fulfilled with the value JavaScript. But to get only JavaScript, then we have to write await. You can also use then method to handle this, but you should not be using then method inside asynchronous function. So instead of using this await, but this is always best combination, async await. Let me show you second way. Below this is nothing but my promise object. Then I will be writing then, and inside that simply I'm just going to pass response. I will just display response. Save it, refresh this one. Let me just remove this semicolon. Refresh this, you can see again I am able to access JavaScript. So either in this way or in this way you can answer in interview. But mostly whenever we are using async function, we always use await keyword to wait for the result. Let us see 19th question. You have to tell what will be the output of these logs. Let us see the solution. Now here inside this log, I am just calling the function. We are having three functions. This is called as function declaration. This is called as function expression because we are assigning this function to one variable. And this is called as arrow function. We have here arrow. And again, hoisting concept comes into play. So when I call this function declaration, before it is declared, then I will have the result. 4 and 6 will be passed. And for this function call, I will be having the result as 10. Let me just comment these two lines. Refresh this. Now I will have the result as 10. But here, function expression and arrow functions will not be hoisted. Instead, if we are using let and const, for this, whatever values we are having when it is hoisted, the same concept will be applied for function expression and arrow function. So whenever we are accessing let variables before it is declared or defined, then those variables will be in TDZ zone. That is nothing but temporary dead zone. And that variables we can't access at that place. I will save. So we will be having this reference error cannot access sub before initialization. When we are using let and const, we will be having this error. And at this line, I got the error. So that is the reason I have not moved to next line. Let us see 20th question. Now just focus on this previous error. Reference error cannot access sub. But now same code, instead of using let and const, I have used var for function expression and arrow function. Now for this, you have to find what will be the output, but here I am using var keyword. Let us see the solution. Now, as I mentioned, for let and const, whatever behavior we are having in hoisting concept, same will be applied for function expression and arrow function. Similar to that, whatever behavior we have for var variables, that will be applied for function expression and arrow function. So in this code, I am not calling function declaration, so I will not be having any result. But for var and sub, when this var variables are used before they are declared, then they will get the value undefined. Now if I refresh, you can see I have different error, that is type error. Sub is not a function. So this sub will be assigned undefined. And when I am trying to call this function, it will be like undefined 4, 6. And undefined is no longer a function, it is a falsy value. So when I try to call in this way, then I will be having sub is not a function. But for previous one, what we got? We got reference error. Refresh this one, we got reference error because we are using let and const and we are not able to refer that variables. But here for this one, we got type error because var variables are hoisted and they will be hoisted with the value undefined. Let us see 21st question. You have to find the output of this code. Let us see the solution. Before that, I will come on top. I will just comment this because we are having the same function with data. Now here, as soon as I refresh, you can see I am ready to go to abroad. But here what I am telling, if this is not true, only then I have to call the function. But here I have assigned data to true. But if you notice here, this variable is declared using var keyword, and when it is hoisted, var variables will be having value undefined. So here I am using this variable before it is declared. So my data will be undefined. Undefined is nothing but falsy value. And not of false is true. This condition becomes true. So that is the reason I am calling this function. And whatever result we have inside this function, so that will be displayed. So this is the major problem when we are writing the code. So always try to avoid var keyword. Instead, always use either let or const. Let us see 22nd question. Now here I have declared three variables a, b, c and I am checking if a triple equal to window dot a. In my window, if I am having property a, if I am having property b, if I am having property c, and I am checking for this condition. Okay, let us see the solution. First, let me refresh. You can see first I got true, false and false. So let me show you how. I will write here window. So when we write window, window is nothing but it is a global object. And whenever we are creating variables using var keyword, property will be created inside window object. But when we are using let and const, the property will not be created. This is also one of the advantage of using let and const instead of using var. I will open. Now let me just open this console. You can see property is created A. So when I'm comparing this A is equal to window dot property A, then I will be having the result true. But B and C properties are not created inside the window. So that is the reason I am having false. Now let us see 23rd question. Now you have to tell in what order this array will be sorted, either in ascending or descending, or whatever it is, whatever result you get, you have to tell what numbers will come first inside the array. Okay, let us see the result. So if you thought ascending or descending, both the answers are wrong. We get in this way. So here, whenever we are using this sort method on numbers, this will be evaluated in this way. You can see first we are having this 2. This is coming before 3. So first it is just going to look at the first numbers and which is less. 2 is less than all these numbers and 2 is coming before 3. So 22 will come here. Then this 3 is coming before 4. So 34 will be coming here. And this 4 is coming before 8. So that is the reason in this way we will be having the result. It will not be either in ascending order or descending order. Whatever number is coming before this first number, that will be displayed here. Let us see 24th question. You have to tell what will be the output of this log. Okay, let us see the solution. Let me just show the result first. Now, surprisingly, I got banana, but nowhere we are having NA. You can see nowhere we are having N, but still I got the result as banana. So let us see how this is evaluated. Now we are having string B. We are just using plus operator, that is string operator. Then we are having A. So this two will be concatenated. We will have BA. But here we are using plus plus on this A. And I already mentioned if you are having any number inside double quotes or single quotes, and if you are adding plus before that, it becomes number. But here I am having string. And before string, if I add this plus operator, it is going to give me the result as NaN. Let me write. This 2 is concatenated. Then for this, I will have the result NaN. NaN stands for not a number. And again you can see I got NaN. So this will be evaluated to BANAN. And after that we are having string A. So I will be having banana. And what I have done, I have used two lowercase. So entire string will be converted to BANANA, banana. So that is the reason I got the result as banana. Let us see last question for the day. Now for this, you have to find what will be the length of array. Okay, let us see the solution. Now here what I have done, I am having 4 elements inside the array which is having 0, 1, 2, 3 as its index. And at 100 index, I am adding element 5. So my total length has to be 100 plus 1, that is 101. How it is? Because index will be calculated from 0. So my length of final array will be 101. So that's all for this lecture. I hope you understood all the questions and you got all the answers. Still, if you're having any doubt on any question, you can ask your doubts in comment section. And if this video was helpful, you can share the video with your friends who are preparing for JavaScript interview. Once I upload all the questions on day 10, I will be providing entire document of this coding question so that you can look into that, and whenever your interview is going on, you can practice from that document and you can prepare for interview.